Okay, think about Terrace, late 1700s. You've got this uh, incredible wealth right next to, well, utter desperation, people literally starving.
Exactly. It's a society stretched to its absolute breaking point.
And for this deep dive, we're jumping right into the start of Charles Dickens's A Tale of Two Cities to really feel those tensions building.
That's the plan. We're focusing just on these opening chapters, trying to get a real handle on the mood, the first characters we meet, and, the groundwork Dickens lays.
So our source is the novel itself. And our mission, really, is to pull out the key details from these early pages, see where it all begins. Ready?
Absolutely. And it's key to remember the backdrop, right? Late 18th century England and France. This is a time of massive, massive change. Social, political, it's all bubbling up.
Definitely. And Dickens starts with this really, this powerful metaphorical bit, the woodman, fate, and the farmer, death. What's he doing there right at the outset?
Well, he's personifying these huge forces, isn't he? Fate is like a woodman marking trees that are, destined for the guillotine.
And death is the farmer, getting the carts ready, the tumbrils.
Precisely. The carts that will carry people to their execution. It's incredibly ominous. He's showing us these instruments of death being prepared almost silently in the background.
So it's this sense of unavoidable doom brewing.
I think so, yeah. It feels like these massive historical faces are already in motion, kind of indifferent to the people caught up in them. It sets a really unsettling tone.
Like it's happening whether you see it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, then we shift scenes pretty dramatically to the Dover mail coach. The feeling there is
There's
just...
suspicion, right? Heavy suspicion.
Oh, absolutely. That scene is brilliant at capturing the fear of the time. You really feel the passenger's anxiety. Everyone seems to be looking over their shoulder.
You've got the guard, Joe, the coachman.
Yeah.
Everyone's jumpy. And that detail about them walking beside the coach in the fog, that always sticks with me.
It really highlights how vulnerable they are, doesn't it? And the general paranoia. I mean, the risk of being mistaken for a highwayman... It tells you trust has completely broken down.
Even among fellow travelers.
Then there's that weird little exchange, super brief, between Joe the guard and Tom about a message.
Yeah, did you hear the message? I did. What did you make of it? Nothing at all. It's so cryptic.
What are we supposed to think?
Well, it immediately creates suspense,
Sorry.
What is this message? It hints at secrets, things happening under the surface, and the fact that they don't even understand it themselves adds another layer.
And straight after that, Jerry Cruncher. He gets off the coach, and he's acting. Well, strange. Wiping mud off, shaking his hat out.
Yeah, it's like he's trying a bit too hard to look normal, isn't it? Like he's just been involved in something messy or strenuous.
Hiding something.
Seems like it. The mud, the water, they feel like clues. He immediately comes across as someone with secrets operating in the shadows.
Okay, so shadowy figures, secrets. Then we get the core mystery, I think, of these opening chapters. Mr. Jarvis Lorry meeting this passenger, the one recalled to life.
Yes, this is absolutely central. The conversation between Lorry and this passenger, it's cautious, hesitant.
And Lorry asks him, about being buried for almost 18 years.
And the passenger confirms it. Then Lorry asks, you had abandoned all hope of being dug out.
The answer, long ago. Just gut-wrenching. What does that tell us about this man?
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? About the sheer psychological devastation of that kind of imprisonment. Hope just extinguished. Dickens is showing us the deep scars of trauma right away. It's clearly going to be a major theme.
It's incredibly bleak.
Really?
But then as they arrive, Dickens gives us this image of the sun rising. Why that contrast?
It's striking, isn't it? After all that darkness and despair in the coach, you get the dawn, the fields, the woods. It's like a visual hint of maybe renewal or the possibility of life after that burial, even with all the mystery still hanging there.
Right. So they get to the Royal George Hotel, and Mr. Lorry starts giving instructions. Very precise. Packetelle A, bedroom, barber for the gentleman.
He's very methodical, isn't he? Mr. Lorry comes across as someone who needs order, routine. Maybe it's his way of coping with a world that feels chaotic.
A creature of habit.
Definitely. Clinging to structure.
And Dickens gives us this amazing description of Lorry himself in the coffee room. What details jump out at you?
Well, the way he sits, hand on each knee, the loud ticking watch, the perfectly neat stockings, everything about him screams precision, maybe even rigidity.
And the wig.
Mm-hmm.
Odd little sleek, crisp, flaxen wig. It sounds so artificial.
It really does. It's such a specific detail. It marks him as someone concerned with appearance, maybe. There's this slight artificiality against the backdrop of the very real human drama he's involved in.
And his face habitually suppressed, but his eyes are moist bright, betraying that Tellson's bank reserve. It's like he's holding something back.
Exactly. That contrast is key. He's got this controlled, business-first exterior, but those eyes hint there's more going on underneath. Emotions kept tightly in check, trained, as Dickens says, to the bank's reserve.
Which is pretty much what he tells Miss Manette, right? He calls himself a man of business, like a defense mechanism.
Absolutely. He distances himself, says he's just relaying a customer's story. It's clearly a way to shield himself, and maybe her too, from the emotional weight of it all.
But she doesn't buy it, does she? She pleads for the truth. It's described like she might fall on her knees. Intense vulnerability.
It's a powerful moment. She needs honesty, no matter how painful. It really shows her strength, actually, her compassion.
And Lorry. He's clearly thrown. He tries to distract her by asking about arithmetic. It's almost funny. It's so awkward.
Yeah. His discomfort with raw emotion is so clear. He retreats straight back to logic, to numbers. It's his banker persona clashing with the human situation. But she recovers quickly, doesn't she? Reassures him, shows incredible poise.
Okay, big shift now. Saint Antoine, spilled wine. Visually, this is maybe the most powerful scene so far. What's the impact here?
Oh, it's unforgettable and deeply symbolic. This cask of wine breaks open and the people just descend on it. Desperate.
Kneeling in the mud, scooping it up with their hands, rags, bits of pottery. It's frantic, almost animalistic.
It shows the depth of their poverty, their utter desperation. They're reduced to this basic primal urge. It's a stark picture of deprivation.
And then Dickens hits us with that line, that foreshadowing. The time was to come when that wine, too, would be spilled on the street stones, and when the stain of it would be read upon many there. Chilling.
Unmistakable, isn't it? It's a direct, visceral link between this spilt wine and the blood that will be spilt during the revolution. Just incredibly potent symbolism.
And this scene sets up the whole neighborhood, Saint Antoine, which is just drenched in hunger, capital H. How does he portray that?
He personifies it. Hunger isn't just a lack of food. It's like this oppressive force living in the houses, etched onto the people's faces. He talks about them looking old before their time, their voices being heavy.
The mill which had worked them down was the mill that grinds young people old. That line, it just captures the crushing weight of their lives.
It's devastating. It highlights the human cost of that systemic poverty and inequality. It literally drains the life out of them.
Which brings us finally to the reunion. Mr. Lorry and Lucie go to Defarge's wine shop, up to the garret to meet Dr. Manette. The atmosphere is thick with secrecy.
Yes, very tense. And those three men peering through the cracks in the wall, the Jacques, it creates this immediate sense of surveillance, of hidden plots. You know Defarge is more than just a wine shop owner.
And Lucie is terrified, understandably. What do we know about her father at this point that fuels that fear?
Well, we know he's been in prison for so long, 18 years. We know he's been recalled to life, implying he was like someone dead. The picture is of someone deeply traumatized, detached, almost not human anymore.
And when they open the door, there he is, the shoemaker, just working away. Repetitive. What does that signify?
It's heartbreaking. His vacant look, his pallor. The shoemaking seems like a mechanism to cope, doesn't it? A repetitive task to occupy a mind shattered by trauma, keep the past at bay.
He barely even notices them come in. Total withdrawal.
Exactly. It shows how deep his isolation goes. Human contact is almost meaningless to him at this point.
But then Lucie speaks, and something changes. What happens?
Her voice, her presence, it seems to penetrate the fog somehow. That image of his spectral face resting on her warm young breast. It's incredibly moving, like a spark of connection, of life.
Dickens says his expression is mirrored on her face, as though it had passed like a moving light from him to her. What's the significance there?
I think it signifies this transfer of something vital, hope, recognition, their shared bond. It suggests Lucie has this immense power to reach him, to maybe start the healing process.
But it's fleeting, isn't it? He quickly retreats back into his work, his gloomy abstraction.
Yes, it shows how fragile he is, how deep the damage runs, that connection is there. But the past still has such a powerful grip. The journey back will be long.
And it's her hair that really triggers a memory. He remembers holding her, the color of her hair, the night he was taken away.
Yeah, the hair becomes this incredibly powerful sensory link to the past. To that specific traumatic moment, it shows how memory persists, even when fragmented.
He asks to keep some strands, believing they might help him in spirit. It's such a vulnerable, touching request.
It really is. It shows his desperate need to hold on to something from his past life, his enduring love for her, even through all that suffering. A tangible reminder.
So the decision is made. Take him to England. And Lucie, through all this, finds this incredible strength. She tells Mr. Lorry to leave them alone for a bit.
Right. It shows her determination. She's stepping up, taking charge of his care. She's not just the vulnerable young woman anymore. She's becoming his protector. Remarkable resilience.
Okay, so let's wrap up these opening chapters. What are the big themes, the key mysteries Dickens has set up for us here?
Well, there's definitely this pervasive feeling of unease, of suspicion everywhere, then the massive shadow of imprisonment, the trauma, stark social inequality. The wine scene makes that unforgettable. And alongside all that, this emerging glimmer of hope through family connection, through Lucie.
And the big questions left hanging.
Who is Dr. Manette, really? Why was he imprisoned for so long? What's the full story there? What's the ultimate meaning of the spilled wine? And, what's going to happen to them all in England? Lots of questions.
Yeah, it feels like these first few chapters show us a world just on the brink, where personal stories are completely tangled up with these huge historical tides. The ground is definitely rumbling.
Absolutely. Long-buried secrets, old injustices, they're not just shaping individual lives, they're clearly pushing history towards something big, something violent.
So maybe something for us all to think about. As we see here, the past casts such a long shadow. How much do those old secrets, those buried injustices, personal or societal, still steer the course, not just for people, but for history itself? It's a heavy thought to carry forward.